Bam. We got MINZY back BLING. I'm not going to say too much about this. I'm just going to press play and show you what this is.
Okay.
We have a guest with us today. This is Black Pegasus. He is, well, I'm Belgian. Some people might not know that. I don't say that enough. I'm Belgian. That's somewhere in Europe. He's the guest here in this country. He's American. He's a rapper. He's a YouTuber. He's a, well, vlogger, doing reactions, making own original music and content, doing comedy things as well. And then there's other things you do as well. Mm-hmm. But this is the social media related part, which is of the importance right now. So thank you for coming to Belgium.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Yay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to show you this. So I know you like Asian culture. Mm-hmm. I know he really likes Asian culture. You told me this multiple times. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to show it to him. And you guys know why I wanted to show it to him, because you guys showed it to me and I was like, oh.
So the thing that opened me up to Asian culture was the martial arts, right? I always loved, let's say, Chinese Kung Fu, Japanese samurais, like even Korean, isn't Korean Taekwondo, I believe. So like I've always been into all martial arts, from even like Thailand's Muay Thai, like everything. And that's what got me into it. But then the other thing I got is like, and I'm generalizing here, but it's a good generalization in my opinion, but they always have these honor codes and respect. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, you know, in America, that's not a generalization, you know what I'm saying? So I just really always had loved it. So that's what got me into Asian culture. Then you get into the cuisine and then you travel, you're like, yo, this is fire. So absolutely. I've been to China, I've been to Thailand, and I want to go to Japan next, but let me see what you got here. I don't know what's going on.
I like what you're saying here because it makes me think of stuff. Like I'm half Filipino. Okay. And my mother is, it's that traditional, typical, anybody here who has a Filipino mom, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's that the traditions that they have and the culture, it's ingrained in them. Yeah. And they live that for their entire life. And I respect that. So
my dad was in the military. So we lived amongst mixed people. I didn't live in this town or, you know, blah, 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 blah. So like I remember growing up, my mom's best friend was Biak. That's how you said her name. And like she'd bring traditional food over. And I remember some of my best friends were Korean and they'd always bring us like kimchi. And you know what I'm saying? My dad loves kimchi. Yep. And I love it, but I just can't eat it anymore because it's like my stomach. I can't eat spicy stuff no more. It's sad. But anyways, let's get into this. I rock.
I'm just going to let it play. You let me know when you want me to pause it.
All right, let's get it.
Tình nón quay thao em đợi sân đỉnh, mấy anh ngài quay đầu như cúng đỉnh, mà các dân chơi gọi là bắc BLING linh.
Cầm lòng son sắt tăng ngân nga cao quan họ này, chào mừng về miền đất bên nước và con đò, tinh hoa không thể nào mất. Chất là loco, sẽ soạn áo thề khăn xếp, anh em cùng lên đồ, let's go.
Lướt trên sông như là lướt trên mây, ngước bên đông sang giờ này ngước bên tây. Miếng trầu này em đã ướp thêm say, mang lời hứa trao duyên như bao hẹn ước đêm nay.
Đêm trăng rằm hội lim, biết em đâu mà tìm, cho tiếng em đâu thể ngồi im, cầm khăn làm tin.
Sáng như đêm trăng rằm hội lim, biết em đâu mà tìm, chót thương em đâu thể ngồi im, cầm khăn đi ai làm tin.
Ăn một miếng trầu, ăn một miếng trầu, ăn vào cho đỏ môi mình môi.
All right, so is this, I'm just going to go on a limb, hopefully I don't look like a doofus. Is this China?
No, it's Vietnamese.
Vietnamese?
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yep.
What the and this is what, oh my gosh. So this is what's crazy about Asian culture, there's so much that I don't know about Vietnam and Singapore. I know Singapore is like the safest place in the world. It's the cleanest. You gotta put some respect on their name, you know. But anyways, that's just random.
Same. I didn't know a lot about Vietnam.
The way this older brother is dressed and looks, he looks like a character from some of the Chinese kung fu movies I watch.
Yeah.
And so that's why,
he's a comic.
Really?
Like he's a comedian, yeah.
So I'm just going to keep this a buck. You know, I might ruffle some feathers saying this, so it is what it is. Take it how you want. So I like this more than any of the K-pop I've ever heard.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Because this is infused with more of their original culture. Like sometimes I watch K-pop and it reminds me of like they're really recycling a bunch of America and Britain culture that because we were so popular. It's like, oh, you're imitating Michael Jackson. Oh, you're imitating Usher. Oh, you're doing this. You're doing cool. You guys are amazing. K-pop sounds aesthetically freaking amazing, but I want to learn about Korea in the music. I want to learn about, and this, I'm like seeing the culture. I'm hearing the sounds, like it's fused. Vietnam is fused in the music here. Yes, and 100%. That's what I appreciate because remember, I'm a hip hop head. Hip hop was birthed in America. We are the orators, the originators of this, you know, not this, but I'm saying of hip hop. So when I see people redo it, I like seeing them add what, like, I want to learn about you, where you're from. So that's why so far I like this more because in K-pop, I'll see this, but I won't hear it a lot of times. And again, I've only been exposed to so much and it's really pop
so I like
sounding,
what you're saying here,
but I just like hearing the culture. I want to learn about Vietnamese people here, if you know.
So what you're saying here, because you hear that it has that culture because of the instruments,
the sounds.
If I'm not mistaken, the instrument we hear in the beginning is called a moon lute. You also have something called a fiddle that's being used in here. And then there is some, the flute, obviously. Yeah. It's apparently...
But they play the flute different than someone who's doing folk music in America. Yeah. It's different. And that it's just like the flute in Native American culture sounds different than the flute in like folk or, you know,
this
or
isn't
classical.
This isn't just them showing the culture. This is you hearing the culture as well with the instruments being used. That's a very good point because that is something... You know, I picked up on in the beginning, and when I did it, I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting," because I'm hearing.
And I personally, this is the thing. I love when people, because it's like flattering. It's a tip of the hat when you do something like when you're doing something similar to American or even British culture, because it was the Britain invasion is what really changed the game with rock groups. That's why they called it the Britain invasion. And then America had all the huge solo artists, the Michael Jacksons. So we really shifted culture across the world when it came to showing Western culture and the music and people embracing it. Now that it's been embraced, it's a cycle. Now we're embracing other cultures doing their own thing, doing some of what we've done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this. That's what music is meant to bring people together. So I just enjoy this. Like I get to take a trip over here instead of hearing, like, and no disrespect, but I don't necessarily like. I'm American, so I want to hear something different. Because I can hear American shit all the time. I live in America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, this is why I enjoy doing the YouTube stuff. Is
I don't know if that's supposed
since
to be
I started doing it, I've been put on to Russian music, Hungarian artists, Vietnamese. Oh, what's that? Oh, that. Okay. Vietnamese, man, Korean, the K-pop thing, and then the Korean rappers. You can Malaysian, Thai, man. Like I've been Polish, German. I've been doing all these countries, India, and I'm just mind blown. Like, okay, this is from somebody who is Belgian, so I'm not really narrow-minded because I'm always looking towards U.S. culture from the outside looking in. You get me? So I always have that perspective. But even then, I'm like, oh, I didn't know anything about all the different how universal music is and and it's thanks to YouTube and the community putting me on and stuff in live streams or in the comments and that tell me like, oh, you like that. How about this artist from this country? I'm like, oh, okay.
When we get to the end of this, I want to talk about the YouTube thing you brought up, because my era is different than your era, and I want to just bring that up. But I want to rock with them because this is tight. This is dope.
Yep. Pay attention to what she's saying here.
Ăn một miếng trầu, ăn một miếng trầu, ăn vào cho đỏ, môi mình môi ta. Ăn một miếng trầu, bằng một chiếc cầu, bao lời chưa ngỏ, duyên mình duyên ta. Mời anh về Bắc Ninh em chơi thăm lễ hội nô nức đông vui quanh năm, qua đền Bà Chúa cầu lộc cầu tài, sang dầm tháng 8 ung dung trời trăng, đôi thuyền rẽ sóng trên sông như nguyệt, bao sử sách kẻ linh nhân kia, tam phủ trốn bồng lai linh thiêng, nương nhờ cửa thánh con xin cúi đầu. Người ơi đừng về, để em ngày đến ngóc trong anh không anh khắp bốn bề. Anh có thương thì qua chứ anh đừng hứa đừng thề, về đây Bắc Ninh cùng em thắm nồng tình quê.
Yo,
That's crazy.
I want to say that I just think it's so fire that they implement these hip hop elements, like they put that in there.
Yeah.
This super traditional, showcasing the culture, and then even the way she's singing and everything. We're getting Vietnamese culture, but you get these hip hop hard ass boom bap, not boom bap, trap infused beats, even with the claps. That's a typical trap thing building up. And you get these 808s and stuff. I think that's genius.
Yeah, so I was going to say multiple things. One, all respect to my wife. I'm off the market, you guys, but she's gorgeous.
Oh, I said that too, and I'm about to say it again. She's absolutely beautiful.
She's stunning. And the other thing that I like, and this is going to flip people out. They don't understand, because like I think there's only one projection of Americans, but there is a lot of like. First, I've been exposed to every culture because I live in the melting pot. I don't just hang out in the South or the Midwest. I've traveled all of the U.S. and I grew up in a military family, so I've been exposed to Vietnamese people, Filipino. Like I got mad Filipino friends from Colorado. But anyways, the fact that she's covered up properly and has no tattoos, I like that, because I'm over. That's just, I know you like tattoos and I'm not knocking it, but there's something about these traditional values. Now that I'm raising children, I like them to see that, because I grew up, that was the norm. Having one tattoo was like, oh my gosh, he's a rebel, he's an outlaw. Now everyone has tattoos, so it's like normalized. But going back to stuff like this, I really enjoy that. So I just want to take the time and highlight the appreciation for something. It's not Nicki Minaj. She's not out here in a thong. I actually appreciate this.
Damn, you kind of broke my heart on that tattoo statement you made, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I also think there's a different. I'm just gonna keep it real. People have to get mad. I think there's a differential for when women have tattoos and men. I just, I don't know. I know some men like women with tattoos. I don't.
I was joking, by the way, but like I fully understand. I was completely joking. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah.
But you are right, though. This is also, you're seeing a lot of workers constantly throughout this music video. You see this man on the roof doing the tiles. There's like a scene, I think they're making pots or something. Every shot, almost every shot, somebody's working.
So remember this work and the YouTube concept. YouTube, Spotify, work. I want to talk about that at the end, because I saw some of this when I was in Thailand. I want to highlight that as well.
Okay.
chiếc cầu bao lời chưa ngỏ duyên mình duyên ta. Mời anh về Bắc Ninh em chơi thăm lễ hội nô nức đông vui quanh năm, qua đền Bà Chúa cầu lộc cầu tài, sang rằm tháng 8 ung dung trời trăng, đua thuyền rẽ sóng trên linh thiêng tam phủ chốn ông lai linh thiêng nương nhờ cửa thánh con xin cúi đầu. Người ơi đừng về để em ngày đêm khóc trong anh tung anh khắp muôn bề. Anh có thương thì qua cho anh đừng hứa đừng thề về đây Bắc Ninh cùng em thắm lòng tình quê.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually really good video too. What were the 2 points we had just
Something
said?
about work, YouTube, culture, or something.
So
Spotify?
I might be tripping, bro. I might be tripping. But I've been to China personally and Thailand. Lived experience. Been there. And I really enjoyed it. But I never saw anyone begging. Actually, in Thailand, I saw one dude. I think he was like blind. And he was close to the mall. But out of these millions of people you're coming around, like people are homeless, but they're just hustling. They just live in, they're out eating like on the street, you know what I'm saying? But I never saw anyone begging. And you got to remember, I'm coming from American culture where there's just like people who are like, bro, like you're healthy, you're young, you're like, and you're just like, just begging on the corner, you know what I'm saying? And there's something about the like, I've never in my life seen an Asian person begging for money, and I'm sure it happens. I'm sure, you know, the one time I ever saw it was in Thailand. It was a blind dude. But you got to think I was everywhere in Thailand, and I went to all these different spots. I went to everywhere in China. And I was like, yo, that's actually just wild because I'm American and that's something you see. The other thing is in America, all these Western ideas like equity, data, and inclusion, you know? And it's crazy when you go to Asian cultures, it's like, you see Asian people. Like it was like I was the foreigner and I stood out. And it's just so cool to me to see these differentials. And instead of being like, oh, they're not inclusive, there's only Vietnamese people in here. It's just like, bro, this is just culture and tradition, you know, because America is kind of wonky sometimes, bro. So like, I just look at things a little different than the average American. I'm just like, yo, that's beautiful. They're repping their culture. And that's what's funny about me. I don't fit in nowhere because I'm mixed. I'm black. I'm Mexican. In my Mexican lineage, I have Native American, French, Irish. So I don't fit in, and sometimes there's a yearning to have like a home like they have. Like they're like, yo, these are, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the truth.
The appreciation for their own tradition is so powerful to me, and I respect it so much because I don't, even in Belgium, I don't really see it that much. That tradition, I see it mainly in. I have a lot of Asian, you know, friends and Asian family members and stuff. Like there, I see it. Yeah, I see it there. But other than that, you don't really see it, and I do miss it a bit, especially nowadays.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll just say this off camera. It's more of a like something more in depth, but yeah, so, absolutely. I rock with this.
I wanted to say as well. You see, they had black teeth. So she said it too. I think it's the chorus. Chew this Betel with me. Yeah. How do you say?
I was going to ask you with Betel.
Betel.
I thought, yeah, I just saw Betel, but I don't know what that is.
So in Dutch, I'd say Betel, but I don't know how to say it in English. Okay. Betel. It's either this type of nut or fruit or something, which causes discoloration like within your teeth. Like it has this dark red stain. Okay. She said it too, like, but she's saying it is, this is songwriting as well. The songwriting is amazing because you could say.
That's what I was going to say. It's really poetic the way she's talking about them falling in love and intertwined.
Yes. You can say stuff about like, oh, the sky is blue. But that's not a good lyric in a song. No. But when you say, oh, the endless depth of the sky's oceanic view, something like that, you're like, oh, that's great songwriting. Because you say the same thing, but you say it in such a poetic
you're more
manner.
Descriptive.
Right. So that's great songwriting. But so it's a traditional / cultural, mainly cultural thing there. It's also in, if I'm not mistaken, you also do it in Japan. And it has different meanings in different Asian countries, but they do that, and it can symbolize like marriage. It can symbolize like social status. You know, like how old it was the older ladies doing it. So I think that's what it is. So you have the older women doing it to showcase, oh, they are like, how do you say this? you respect your elders, which is also a big thing in Asian cultures. The respect for the elders.
Yeah.
There's an immense amount of respect.
Yeah.
When I grew up and I was around
as there should be,
like Belgian friends, and I would hear them talk back to their parents.
Yeah.
I would look at them and go,
oh shit,
ain't no way you just said that.
Yeah, you're getting thrown through a wall.
Like,
but
if I try that,
I can't do that either.
If I try that, I get a slipper like boomerang to my face. Like, what is going on here?
That's how it is. Like, because I was in Mexican and black culture. Yeah. But I noticed that more with my Caucasian friends. They would be like, "Mom, get out of my room." I'd be like, "Yo,
what's happening?"
What? Like,
ain't no way that's happening. Like,
it didn't happen over here.
So people who have Asian parents, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I'm glad I was raised that way.
Multiple things before we wrap this up. One, you introduced me to this, but I introduced you to authentic pho.
Yes, I wanted to say this. I think I said this in my first reaction.
Here
I don't remember because it's been a couple months. He is the person who introduced me to Vietnamese pho. Pho or pho.
It's amazing.
That was the first Vietnamese dish I have ever eaten. Because I don't know any Vietnamese people. In Belgium, it's like a, what do you call it? A mixing pot?
Oh yeah, the melting pot.
The melting pot, which means like different cultures.
Yeah.
I had friends from all ethnicities in Belgium. It's a bunch of you see it walking around here too. You have a bunch of everything, right? But I never knew Vietnamese people. It just didn't happen not to know any Vietnamese people. So that was the first dish I ever tried in America. The first Vietnamese dish, pho, and I loved it so much. Bro, that beef that you just put in and then it cooks in there and simmers with the sauces and then the noodles. I liked it so much. I think 2 days later I said, "Can we order it again?"
Yeah.
Because I was rocking with it so much.
I love it, especially in winter because it gets really cold. And so the funniest thing about this reaction, because obvious this is Vietnam, you know, Vietnamese, got it, not tripping. But like I'm wearing Wu-Tang shorts, which is, you know, a rap group from America that was totally influenced by Chinese culture. And then I got the Tokyo shirt.
Yeah, so
but I got this in Tokyo, so don't trip.
This is funny.
Traveling.
We're talking about this, like our admiration and respect for Asian culture through music and just culture that you can consume in general.
Yeah.
And you're out here dripped out in an Asian outfit. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm wearing this today too. I'm changing. I'm wearing some shorts.
You know what's dope?
It's too hot out here,
on the original video I had, that one right there. The team, the videographers and the team watched my video, and so did the artists.
Oh, that's tight.
So and they commented and stuff. So I just want to say thank y'all for that to the artists for making this song and making it this good and giving it that much substance, because there's so much that goes into this and I have so much appreciation for that, and it sounds fantastic too, and it's making us laugh, bro. Like the comic doing this thing, that's hilarious. He's out here doing us like flying through drifted to the water, flying in the air and stuff. I'm like, it
was tight, dude. This was a dope video.
And then also just for the support from the fan base, like, because without people watching it we wouldn't be doing this or able to do this. So thank y'all for watching, leaving a comment or whatever it is you do. I need to say that for that previous video and this, and just being there and just showing up and just watching whatever it is, comment whatever. Thank you, I do appreciate it a lot. So yeah, wanted to say that. We out.
Peace.